This meeting is called to order at 7 p.m. Good evening. This is a regular meeting of the Ferndale School Board of Education being held on Monday, August 18th. Our meeting is being video recorded and will be posted on the Ferndale Schools YouTube channel. All meetings in Ferndale Schools are held in public in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Printed documents discussed in tonight's meeting are available to the public upon request, with the exception of any information protected by student or employee privacy rights. Board meeting information is posted on our website at www.ferndaleschools.org. If you do not have internet access and need information, please contact the board offices at 248-586-8652 by Thursday of the week prior to the meeting, and district staff will do their best to work with you. Item 1.1, roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Crumrine.
Here.
Delaware.
Here.
Kaiser. Here. Molnar. Here. Turner.
Here.
President Dookie.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 1.2, approval of agenda. After review of the agenda, are there any items that anyone wants to update? Then without objection and with unanimous consent, the agenda is approved. Brings us to item 2, summer school update presentation.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Great. How are you?
Great.
Okay. So real quick, we'll try and give you the highlights of our summer school programming that we wrapped up July 31st. We had elementary program, middle school program. Those were full day in-person sessions. We did offer a couple of high school in-person classes. We wanted to pilot that to see what the demand was and to see what the difference in success rates would be compared to online. And then we had our special education extended school year programming. We'll focus on elementary, middle, and credit recovery for this presentation. As you might remember, our criteria for being invited to summer school, both at the elementary and the middle school level, was being behind either in credits or behind grade level on benchmark assessments. So it was really a needs-based program. We had 104 students enrolled at the elementary level. Heavy focus on reading and math in the morning, and then enrichment activities during the afternoon. Some of those enrichment activities would be kind of the fun kind of enrichment activities, while others were academic in nature. Okay. Go to the next slide, please. The enrichment component was really meant to kind of complete the whole child picture. So we had the academic and the social emotional, and making sure that we tried to meet as many needs as we could for our students. So that's what you're seeing on that screen, many of the enrichment activities that we did. Next slide is our pre and post test results. This year we had really nice gains from pre-test to post-test, and the pre-test was in the first 2 days of the program. The post-test was during the last week. So you can see we had some significant growth in 23 days. The pre and post-test for elementary and the middle school students is it's a test put together by the curriculum company called Lavinia. So it's a test that the students haven't seen before, but it is aligned to grade level standards. It's a nice third data point. When we look at our spring iReady and our fall iReady, we'll be able to do some triangulation of the data on the students who participated in summer school. One significant change that we employed this year was we brought on-site coaches that were provided by Lavinia. Lavinia is if you're not familiar with them, they're a turnaround company that focuses on low achieving schools and school districts. So we were able to bring them on site to help us coach our teachers in really focusing on those students who were struggling academically and really tried to stress the importance of treating summer school different than the regular school year, right? We can't just do things faster or louder. Like, our students need us to do something different. And that's what Lavinia provided for us, both through the curriculum and through the coaches. So we definitely feel that the coaching played a significant part in our success. All right, can you scroll up just a little bit? So in our elementary, we had some third-party, again, enrichment providers come in that provided academic support as well as the entertaining enrichment opportunities. And we partnered with Ferndale Youth Assistance to provide some of those enrichment opportunities, as well as some of our field trip opportunities were either funded by or at least organized by Jesse Wallace and Ferndale Youth Assistance. At the middle school, the enrollment criteria or invitation criteria was the same. We're trying to target students who showed a need. Again, full day programming, 8 to 4, academics in the morning, enrichment during the afternoon. One slight difference for the middle school is we actually included some science programming. And we had 2 middle school science teachers participated in the program. So they tried to incorporate some reading strategies, but through the content of science. So students got some science content this summer at the middle school. Every day during the afternoon, students had at least 2 opportunities or 2 options to choose from for their enrichment activities. And again, there were some Ferndale Youth Assistance coordinated and funded field trips during the program. We tried to have 1 field trip each week for elementary and secondary during the program. Okay. We had 115 students. We tried to encourage 90% participation, knowing the importance of attendance, and we had 88 of our 115 students meet the 90% mark. So we're pretty happy with that. Like the elementary students, we had pretty impressive growth for 23 days at the middle school level. So pretty happy with the results, and we will track those students to make sure that the results that they showed are long-term and not just short-term. But for the data that we do have, we're very pleased with the growth that they showed. High school credit completion, trying to reframe the name, previously credit recovery, really trying to focus on, hey, you're somewhere along the journey, let's just finish or complete that journey. So trying to refer to that as credit completion from now on. So again, we had some in-person biology 1 and biology 2, as well as algebra 1.1 and 1.2. If you're not familiar with those courses, each of those is a 1-semester course. So we had students able to complete 1 full year of biology and 1 full year of algebra. So that would be 9th grade algebra. The biology courses would be 9th grade biology at UHS and 10th grade biology at FHS. But same content, just covered in different grades at the 2 high schools. And then we had online credit completion in many other subjects through the subject platform that you approved back in June. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, we were piloting the in-person. Unfortunately, the student demand was not great. We had 6 students participate in biology completion. Because of that number, I really can't go into the details. Some students were 6 out. I just can't get into the details without risking the student identification. Okay. For algebra, we had 10 students, and for those 10 students, we had 14 passes class. So basically what that's showing is a few of the students actually were able to get first and second semester credit, whereas some of them just only needed second semester. So pretty decent success rate. We just would have appreciated a few more students taking advantage of the opportunity. Okay. Then for online, we had 114 students participate. Altogether, we had 182 high school classes that were passed, completing the half credit for those classes for those 114 students. Questions?
What's one thing you do differently for next year?
We're going to start a lot earlier. So I've already got it on my calendar to reach out to the building principals after the winter benchmark period. And we're going to involve building principals and secretaries much more heavily in the student identification process. We've realized that when a building principal or secretary reaches out to a parent, there's a lot greater response rate compared to when the summer school coordinator, especially for the elementary students, the parents, the families don't know the middle school, or the elementary coordinator, who is a middle school science teacher, at least this year. So when Mrs. Morton reached out, a lot of times there was no response. Whereas when we asked the building principal or the secretary to reach out, there's pretty quick response. So earlier in involving the building principal and secretaries, people that the families are familiar with, in the identification process, we're going to actually hope to have not only those students identified right around midwinter break, but also have staff identified a little bit earlier. Assuming we get the Summer Discovery Grant again next year, there will be some teacher onboarding. But I've already had conversations with Lavinia to have some onboarding earlier than just the week before, so we can go a little more in depth and we can do more coaching ahead of summer school starting, so that the teachers can kind of get into the flow of the intended application of Lavinia versus starting and then have the coaches come in week 3 or 4, make some changes, and then so hopefully those changes will get even better results, as well as increased participation. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to add, Mr. Mays has already scheduled a debrief, so we're going to
Yep.
talk with the administrators of the summer school program under Mr. Mays and try to get their feedback and input on the process.
Thank you
I have
for
a
that.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
This, it looks like the progress in such a short time is really great. Do we have a sense of like how many, like what the uptake was, I guess, like of how many students were eligible or invited, like what percentage took advantage of it? And does that differ a lot by like elementary versus high school?
It was, so I'm trying to remember off that. We had, depending on the grade level, between 70 and 90% of the families that we reached out to responded in accepting the invitation. There was no, it wasn't like the younger the student, the greater the 10. It was very, if we looked at the bar graph of participants compared to invitees, it was all over the place. So there's no grade level that was more responsive. There was no age band that was more responsive.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Doesn't look like anyone's here for public comment, so we're gonna skip that one. Public comment, we're not gonna skip it, we're gonna close it. Which brings us to item 4, the consent agenda. Item 4.1, request to approve minutes of the special meeting committee of the whole Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. 4.2, request to approve minutes of the special meeting Monday, June 9th, 2025. 4.3, the request to approve minutes of the regular meeting, Monday, June 16th, 2025. 4.4, request to approve minutes of the special meeting, Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. 4.5, request to approve new hires, resignations, and transfers. 4.6, request to approve bills and accounts for June and July. 4.7, request to approve the new administrative salary adjustment. 4.8, the request to approve the University High School furnishings school specialty. 4.9, the request to approve the Newsella proposal renewal. And 4.10, request to approve the secondary reading intervention proposal. Does anyone wish to remove an item from the consent agenda for questions or discussion later? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Moved by Lisa. Seconded by David. Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Crumrine, Bolivar,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
President Dookie.
Yes. Thank you. With 6 yes votes, the motion passes and the consent agenda is approved. Brings us to item 5, action items. 5.1, request to approve board meeting schedule for committee of the whole and regular board meeting. We reviewed that at the committee of the whole and checked the dates. Does anyone have any other comments about the meeting schedule and committee of the whole, for committee of the whole and regular board meeting?
I have a question because I wasn't here for the committee of the whole. Is there a reason some of them are bold?
Maybe they're changed from like the. It's
'Cause they're
probably,
not
it's,
on the regular
it's,
day. Okay,
yeah.
got it. Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve item 5.1, the request to approve board meeting schedule for committee of the whole and regular board meetings.
I'll move.
Moved by Jonathan,
Second.
seconded by Aaron. Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Bolivar,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Mulner,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Crumrine,
Yes.
President Dookie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With 6 yes votes, the motion passes. And item 5.1, the request to approve board meeting schedule for committee of the whole and regular board meetings is approved. Item 5.2, the request to approve the annual financial resolution.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is the annual financial resolution. And the first thing that needs to be approved is the approval to designate depositories for school district funds. And we have 5 different banks that we use, well, really 4. So our request is to approve to authorize the treasurer of the board to deposit school district funds in the institutions listed above. And then we have a designation of persons authorized to sign checks, contracts, agreements, and purchase orders. And that is, per our policy, it's the board president and the superintendent. And I sign all purchase orders. Additionally, it is necessary to authorize me and Christian Wright to transfer funds among district bank accounts. We also have authorizations to sign checks, so the request is the authorization to designate the superintendent as the purchasing agent for the district in accordance with the terms of board policy 2202.c. And the authorization to designate the superintendent, director of finance, and treasurer of the board to sign school district checks. Request C, authorization to designate Don Huntley, the representative of the school district, to authorize the transfer of funds within district bank accounts. The appointment of the school election liaison is Felicia Wright, deputy superintendent. Each year, the board designates medical facilities for employee physical exams, and we are using Concentra and IEP this year. And then approval of board memberships to Michigan Association of School Board and Michigan Alliance for Student Opportunity and National School Board Association. And then our legal counsel is going to be Kroon, Dickinson Wright, and Miller Canfield. Any questions? So the recommendation is to approve all of them.
I'll entertain a motion to approve item 6.2, the request to approve the annual financial resolution. Sorry, 5.2, I wrote a 6. 5.2, the request to approve the annual financial resolution. Moved by Lisa,
Second.
seconded by Jonathan. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd?
Kaiser. Yes. Mulner.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Crumrine.
Yes.
Delaware.
Yes.
President Dookie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With 6 yes votes, the motion passes, and item 5.2, the request to approve the annual financial resolution is approved. Item 5.3, the request to approve the school loan revolving fund annual loan application.
So last year, we borrowed from the school bond loan fund, and this year, we can repay the school bond loan fund. So this resolution is just stating that we will pay the money back we borrowed last year.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve item 5.3, the request to approve the school loan revolving fund annual loan application.
I'll move.
Moved by Jonathan,
Second.
second by David. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd?
Mulner.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Crumrine.
Yes.
Delaware.
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes.
President Dookie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With 6 yes votes, the motion passes. And item 5.3, the request to approve the school loan revolving fund annual loan application is approved. Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Item 5.4, the request to approve virtual days plans for 25-26 school year.
Oh, hello again.
Hello.
So the proposal that you'll be looking at this evening is basically the same proposal. However, I did link in an FAQ document that defined what a virtual day is, staff expectations, and student expectations. That said, I almost pulled this from the meeting tonight because last Thursday, MVE announced that they were doing away with work keys, which is a part of our virtual day plan, and replacing it with a primarily online assessment called WIN. But I thought it was probably best to move forward with the plan, knowing that I'll have to come back to you and make some modifications. It might be that we get to keep the same virtual day for the WIN that we would have had for work keys. One thing that we have to keep in mind is that most of the time when we're given online assessments, the vendors and the state give us a window. Paper pencil tests are usually a 1 day, you have to do it this day. Okay? So until we know what our window is from MVE for the WIN, which I apologize, just probably give you a little bigger overview of state assessment. Right? So 11th graders have to take a college readiness test, which is the SAT, and a career readiness test, which up until this school year was the work keys test. Now that career readiness test will be the WIN assessment. Okay? So that's why we have to give it. It's part of the state requirement. Once we know the window or the specific date for WIN, then I'll come back. The reason that I didn't want to pull it, I think we need to communicate as much as we can to parents as soon as possible. So hopefully you agree with that and feel okay with that. But if you have any questions, let's talk about it. Otherwise, hopefully you'll approve it and then we can share it with principals they can get it shared out to parents as soon as possible. And hopefully that potential change for the wind test will be the only adjustment we need to make throughout the week.
Well, it's not really a question, it's a clarification. We're voting on the virtual day plan, not necessarily the specific days. Because
No.
you don't need our approval for the specific days. You need our approval on the virtual plan.
So according to MDE, you do need to approve the dates. We can't call a virtual day without board approval unless it's an emergency closure.
Okay,
Um, Otherwise,
okay,
when George does his end of year pupil accounting, he has to submit to MDE or Open School, whoever. At least he had to. He came to me and say, "What communication did you tell your parents, and when did you give it to them on the days, and when did your board approve the plan?"
so we're gonna approve it, but I don't think it's the actual dates. I think it's just we're gonna discuss it and potentially approve it, but I don't think it's the actual dates. I think it's just the plan.
Okay.
Like, you have to communicate out that we, as a board, said, yes, we are okay with using virtual days in case of emergency or for testing, but we don't, it was my understanding that we don't have to give the specific dates.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
so if and when that date comes, we need to know, but we don't have to re-vote because we're approving. If we approve it today, then we're approving.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay.
Good to know. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for?
We did a motion for question.
Yep, we're about to do that right now. Yeah.
I have questions.
Okay,
first.
hold on
We're
one sec.
Motioning first?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll have questions.
So, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 5.4, the request to approve virtual days plan for 25-26 school year. Moved by Mark,
Second.
seconded by Aaron. Any discussion on the motion?
By Lisa.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
I think he's really good. Great job. And he hammers like all the things that people are gonna have, and it's plain English, which is great. Are we going to modify the district calendar file on the website to include virtual days?
Like, maybe like shaded it, like to,
We'll just say have them on there, right? Because right now, if you look at either 25, 26,
Oh, it
right,
says
it says half
half
days.
days.
It was my intention. So in my mind, board approval, hopefully, then we involve Mr. Shelton and the FEA president, and hopefully they can come to an agreement and sign a letter of agreement, because technically it is a calendar modification, so it does require agreement. Again, we did have a conversation with the acting president of the FBA. He did not see a problem with the calendar change.
So that will be the step before information gets rolled out to broadly.
Right. Yeah, as soon as possible. Yep.
So I have a question or clarification. So for the state testing, those would be, virtual days for the grades that you have listed in this presentation?
Correct. So basically, on state testing days, students who are testing would come in person, and then at the conclusion of the testing, they would go home. The rest of their days would be virtual. If a grade level is not included in that testing on that day, they would have a full day, virtual day.
So this is, there are 6 virtual days on here? Or some of them are partial because they only affect certain grades, is that
Right.
correct? Okay. And then I read in the FAQs, sorry, I know I missed my question time last meeting. I read in the FAQs that we didn't meet the attendance levels for a few of our Friday half days last year.
Correct.
Is that typical, or is that only a recent development?
I don't know
And
if I would
and
say-
and if it is typical, what have we done in the past when we didn't have virtual days available?
Attendance on half days, especially district-wide K-12 half days, has been tough for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Shelton, I don't know if you remember, at one point, we actually removed half days from calendar,
Yep. Yep.
right? So it's hard to answer your question because half days are a relatively
Yeah.
new re-addition to the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but 10 years ago, we did, as a district, remove half days. Like there were no half days other than high school and middle school exam dates. But wherever possible, half days were removed because of attendance issues.
Mm-hmm. I notice all these half days are on Fridays.
Yeah.
It seems like that would increase the number of absences. Is
Well,
that
The evidence
correct
would support your
assumption?
supposition.
okay? Has there been any discussion of mitigating this half-day attendance issue with something other than virtual learning?
With it, if I could just jump in real quick. I'm trying to, because I want to make sure I'm not. Yes, at the negotiations table. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And I think, yeah, I'll stop right there. Yes.
Okay.
At this stage of the game, the virtual day option is really the only option we could think of to mitigate the risks of those half days. And I will say, for whatever it's worth, the half days that we used to have as a district weren't on Fridays,
Mm-hmm.
and attendance was still an issue. So I agree. Having half days on Fridays probably makes it a little bit worse, but it's not like attendance was fine on a half day that wasn't a Friday.
Okay. I think I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call, Ms. Shepherd.
Turner,
Yes.
Krumrine,
Yes.
Millaverne,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Warner,
No.
President Dookie.
Yes.
Thank you.
With 5 yes votes, the motion passes. And item 5.4, the request to approve virtual days plans for 25-26 school year is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to item 6, the superintendent's update.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you so much. I included in my superintendent's update, I was lucky to have time with you all last week, but since then, I think that the biggest highlight is that I've had 2 opportunities just last week to engage with media and share our more about our brand. I'm very excited to share that Chalk Beat Detroit is very interested in potentially doing a actual like full multi-story story on Ferndale schools specifically. They were very interested in our dynamic plan. They are very interested in the demographics of our population and the nuances with having several different municipalities in one school district. So I'm just excited to build relationships with media. And they were all very open to please share news with us and, very wanting me to be proactive as well. So I'm very excited about the potential with both of those organizations. For Bridge, Michigan, I did make a statement regarding the lack of state budget, which I'll talk about shortly just a bit, but just was very, very clear about this is at this point unethical and there needs to be a budget as soon as possible. So again, very happy about that. And then finally, I also had a chance through youth assistance. It was not Ferndale youth assistance, but it sounded like the the collective youth assistance. They had a bridging the gap between schools and the court. It was a very informative session. I had a chance to engage with with mediators, with the Oakland County Sheriff, Prosecutor's Office, etc. And it was interesting to say the least. It feels like schools are the only ones that are having a lot of struggles. It was very interesting that their solutions involve the schools, and the schools are like, well, we need the funding to be able to prevent them from being in your courts, right? So it was just interesting the way that, it was being, we were engaging. But again, connections and sharing the Ferndale story. Next, if it's okay, I would love to jump right into the school funding update. Dawn and I will just kind of go to the podium here and just go through a few items specific to the update. Okay, so we would love to share with the board and the community what's happening with the school funding and how it affects FPS. This evening, we'll talk about both the state budget we'll talk about state funds as well as federal funds. So again, thankful to the board for the approval of our new dynamic strategic plan and just wanting to ensure that we are continuing to share our 5 strategic priorities. Keep going. Really want you to know about our 5 strategic priorities. Thank you. Okay. So we're talking about this because, as mentioned, we still have not passed a 25-26 state budget. It's more than a month late. And not only is it a month late, but there's absolutely no idea when we will get it. We just keep hearing September 30th, and it is surprisingly silent, and we wanted to make sure that our community understood exactly why this is such a serious situation. In addition to state funds, our federal government froze over $6 billion in approved funds that were specifically earmarked for education earlier this summer. So we would like to share a few updates there. And just bottom line, schools, including ours, are operating without a full picture of all of our available resources. And we want to make sure that those challenges are expressed. We also want to share some opportunities for advocacy. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. As I mentioned, we were expecting a budget July 1. Today, as we stand here, August 18th, we do not have a budget. I'd love to talk just a little bit about some of the mitigations we've taken already as a result of the state budget delay. As the board is aware, we have sunsetted an entire central office department, including 2 actual positions. We had to refocus and repurpose those funds into a more mission-driven position, our strategic communication specialist, who I'm very excited to introduce you to shortly. But there have been some direct impacts in our central office as a result of to take the precautions if we should not get the budget that we're expecting. We've also have already had to articulate that we, as of right now, will not have back on track tutoring. We know that was a very successful program in all of our K-12 buildings, after school programming where our teachers were leading those tutoring opportunities. Because this was funded through 23G, and 23G has already been communicated that it will not be returning. So as a result of that, without the funding from the grant, we are not able to sustain the 23G back on track tutoring. So on to federal funds. So earlier this summer, the federal government froze a number of funding streams, Titles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Title it is the most impactful, right? We have the majority of our schools. Which schools, Dawn, are Title I at this time?
Middle school, UHS, and TCE.
Okay. So with those being Title I schools, that was significant funding to go to the supports for those students and those families that we worried we were not going to get at all. And while we have received some of them, as you can see on July 25th, there were $4 billion, almost $5 billion that were released, but there are still absolutely some funds that remain frozen. You want to expand on that?
Well, yeah, we've gotten some initial allocations for our title funds, and they're lower than we thought they'd be. And now they say they're estimates, so they're still estimates. So we don't know for sure what we will final allocation.
So Title I it impacts a number of things, from anywhere ranging from personnel to programming to curricular programs. It would be a major blow if we are not able to receive all of those funds for all of those schools. Go to the next slide. So what I haven't discussed, I've been discussing K-12, but I would like for the board and the community to be reminded that Head Start for Early Childhood is a federal program. And we do run, of course, a Head Start program at FECC. So we have been actually had a meeting today with the director, and it has been, to say it is whiplash would be an understatement, because we are getting some information and then it'll change. And then it'll be like, oh, but you can do this, but you can't do that. So the latest is that we have to, I believe, in a couple weeks, determine how we will proceed, literally without understanding or knowing what our funding allocation is going to be. So that's very fun. But we are trying to make the best and safest and responsible decisions as possible, which includes but not limited to looking at our GSRP programs, our tuition-based programs, and determining how we might be able to braid those funds, if at all. But again, we are ensuring that we're prioritizing K-12 as well as our early childhood programming as much as we can. Also, federal funding is impacting our free and reduced price lunch. I did send a letter to the community last week, Monday, and was just expressing that we are committed to free lunch program, but as of right now, we do not know what that will look like past September 30th. So that could mean that lunches are either paid for, or that could mean that the district will, for lack of better words, eat the cost. So we're exploring all of those options. But what we do know is they will likely need to return to application-based, which we know it just has a stigma associated with it, having to do those applications, ensuring that we get them completed. We just see that as an uphill battle when we know that if they don't do that, then we will not receive the funding. So it's just a lot to consider about how we might do that in a structured way. I just wanted to share just a little bit about what is happening across the country. So this slide is just articulating, based on the ASA survey, what other districts are doing to help mitigate these issues. Ferndale is not, of course, unique when dealing with these funding situations. So a number of them are dipping into their fund balance, right? General operating dollars. They may have the fund balance to completely support this, but as we all know, it's not sustainable to do that. That money will run out. There are doing some of the things that we've been doing, so cutting tutoring, after school supports, reducing staff, scaling back on professional development. There has been other districts there's disruptions to the Head Start. Just the bottom line is that we are not sure just yet what the full impact will be, but we have no doubt that it will intensify as the year progresses once we actually get that allocation. So I just thought it was important to understand what other districts across, not just Michigan, but across the country are dealing with as well, and how they're handling it. So again, I just wanted to reiterate what we are doing. So again, our priority is the classroom. The priority is the classroom. I can't say it enough. We want to make sure that the student experience is not impacted by some of the funding decisions that we'll have to make, but it is extremely difficult. We are adjusting to the whiplash. It has been the whole summer. And we continue to just adjust with the information that we get on a day-to-day basis. And then planning for possible changes to free and reduced lunch. So we're having discussions about how we can make the process potentially easier for the family. We're not sure just yet, but we want to make sure that we're thoughtful about what that may look like early instead of waiting until we find out potentially bad news on or before September 30th. And then, of course, advocacy, every chance I get, I'm speaking with legislator, media, just ensuring that the community is aware of exactly what is going on, hence why we're doing this today. And I said all of that already, so we're going to the next slide. It's really hammering it home there. We included this slide because we wanted to make sure that the community understood how they can help. The community's advocacy matters. Every letter, every call, Dawn calls every day. Do you still call every day? Pretty much. Okay. So we wanted it to be easy for the community to share their story. We wanted to make sure that the community understood how it could impact Ferndale schools. So when you're telling your story and advocating, you have accurate information. So we strongly encourage the community to utilize these links to find their legislators and advocate for releasing the funds. So with that said, we just want to remind everyone that we know that this is difficult not knowing, having full information. We're in this. So I don't know if you have anything else to add, but if not, we will conclude this presentation unless the board has any questions.
I have a question. Thank you for doing this. It's an absolute disgrace that there's not a budget. Lack of leadership in Lansing right now. In fact, playing with politics with school budget, sort of tying it to a roads budget, which just doesn't make any sense. Is really just disconcerting. So, and I think it is going to take urgency, right? Because people are going to send their kids back to school next week, and you're not going to see it. So, continue to get this out, continue to put pressure on people because it's just this. The fear I have is, that we're going to get to middle of September, and then the horse trading all happens, and then things are going to get screwed here. So, really appreciate your all leadership, like the fact that you all sort of been focused on this for months at this point. Makes it feel as good as possible. But the idea that people aren't sure if their kids are going to get lunch come October is just terrible. The anxiety that those parents are going to go through for the next 5 weeks is just ridiculous.
I will just say that I have now more fingers than I have, like the amount of messages I'm getting from families of like, okay, I'm trying to prepare. How much is it going to cost? Mm-hmm. Like they're preparing for the worst. I need to prepare to know if I can feed my kid when they're at school. It's not right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. I didn't say that.
Oh, thank you. That's very intentional, Mark. Thank you. I was going to ask you later. With that, I think my superintendent. I have a few more things. Okay. In the meantime, I would like to, if it's okay, introduce our strategic communication specialist, Ms. Eileen Cantor. Such a lovely and needed addition to the Ferndale Public Schools community. I'm going to ask her to come to the podium and just share a few words with you all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. It's lovely to be here, and I'm thrilled to be of service. I love sharing and telling the story I like to tell people I'm a recovering reporter. I did that for many, many years in Michigan and in Maine. I was an anchor and a reporter. So I still have really deep relationships with Detroit reporters that I was out in the field with for many years when I was on air in Flint. So I feel comfortable picking up the phone. It's all in the timing when we have those really amazing stories that we want broadcast and, using those connections. I've worked nationally with the Today Show as well on several occasions. So I'm looking forward to spreading the joy and spreading the story and reaching for the stars because this district is phenomenal. So I'm thrilled to be here and yeah. Does anyone have any questions?
Wanna
Thank
say
you very much.
welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Super excited.
Thank you. Thank you. Thrilled to be here.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will conclude the superintendent's update with an enrollment update, and I'm gonna just ask Mr. Shelton to jump in. I will just want to begin by saying that these numbers were reported as of Thursday, and there are drastic updates. So I would like to just go over those updates really quickly. If I'm gonna go school by school, if you wanted to capture that. So currently, I will start with Ferndale Lower. Our current enrollment as of today at Ferndale Lower is 552. For Ferndale Upper is 503. Ferndale Middle School, 542. Ferndale High School, 731. University High School, 423. And TCEC, 213 pupils. And early FECC is 152. Tom, is there any particular figure or building that you might want to hover over, give a little bit more anecdotes or anything like that regarding
Sure,
the number?
sure. As always, enrollment doesn't happen as we exactly plan it, and sometimes our cup runneth over, and sometimes we're kind of hoping that it materializes. So I think the numbers that we're looking at are no different this evening. Numbers that we are, I wouldn't say concerned about, but watching very closely are numbers at Ferndale Lower, particularly with our incoming kindergarten class. Those numbers keep skyrocketing, and you may recall that last year we made a conservative call and did not open the section of kindergarten that we really needed to, and that created some difficulties for us a couple months in. And so just this afternoon, Ms. Hibbler and Ms. Keefe and I met to review those numbers again to make sure that we're staffing appropriately. So I'd say Ferndale Lower, watching very closely. In terms of where the numbers might be a little bit lower than we would anticipate or would like, I think University High School and TCEC are two spots where we are. But in fairness, those are buildings where we typically see a large influx of enrollment in the weeks leading up to and even immediately after school starting. So there's still reason for optimism there. We are looking again closely at Ferndale Lower for some last minute staffing decisions to make sure we got room for all the kiddos that are going to hit our doors a week from today. So I will also add that in the spreadsheet that I've been sharing, where we've been updating the numbers, we did just update them this afternoon in that same live spreadsheet. So if you click on that link that we have been sharing, you should see an active update from today that reflects the numbers that Ms. Hibbler shared with everybody.
And that's in your weekly update, not in the board packet. So it's a live link in the weekly update. And you'll see the bottom tabs, and we're getting to the point where we're updating daily now, since we're getting so close to the start of the school year.
Are these reflecting the students who completed the new re-enrollment process?
It's everybody who's
It's
completely
everybody,
enrolled,
yep.
including those who've not completed. the
Yes.
Got it, okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Were there any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you.
It brings us to item 7, informational items. 7.1, the budget to actual report.
Hello again.
Hello.
I got the budget to actual for June, and, we're not done with June yet. We're currently, getting the audit, we're being audited, our yearly annual audit by Plant Moran, but this is, an estimation. And so we are projected to end the year with adding to the fund balance as of right now, although that could change, but, any questions for June? No? Okay, and then July is in there, and that's, we're, it's the first month of the new year, so not too much is happening in July. Any questions with July? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Item 8, consideration of any pulled consent agenda items. We didn't have any. Item 9, our next committee of the whole is Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Item 10, our next regular board meeting is Monday, September 15th at 7 p.m. Brings us to item 11, Eagles Points of Pride for comments.
I will first.
Go for it.
Did
Beat me to it. I keep mine short and simple. Mine is I just hope that everyone had a very relaxing summer and that I am very excited for this school year. Just to watch us grow. So go Eagles.
I go. Mine is, which I've had some experience with my oldest kid, was just seeing the pictures come across from marching band. They just finished up their week. I know for a fact they worked their butts off. Not easy. It's a challenge, and the kind of growth that program gets out of these kids from 8th grade to graduation is unbelievable. And I was kind of jealous. I kind of miss it up there, but I'm all right now. But yeah, those guys are amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress throughout the year.
I'll shout out, our administrative staff that's been grinding out all summer. Sort of out of sight, out of mind. When school closes, sort of just as soon as the operations of the school district stop as well. But that is obviously not the case. The amount of work that has been done to get ready for the school year. One of my summer goals was always to be Tom Shelton at work. See him show car work every day. And I only accomplished it a few times. 7:30 in the morning. So just to give you a sense of sort of the commitment of the staff during the summer. It's, work has really been done. I really appreciate everything the team has done to get us ready, particularly this year of uncertainty with the budget.
Thank you.
I am looking forward to the welcome back celebration, and it's just all the exciting back to school stuff happening, picking up schedules, and there's popsicles with principals and all the stuff that all the staff I know plans over the summer for us to get back into school mode. So thank you, and I'm excited for school to start. I'm really excited for school to start.
In Michigan, our summer months are so fleeting, and I just want to express gratitude to our fearless leader, President Dookie, for protecting this group of people's time in the month of July and saying no school board work in the month of July. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. So hopefully everybody got some good relaxation and rest in the summer because it goes by real fast.
I'll go next. So I'm excited for the school year to begin, right? I just want to get it over with, to start. But I'm also excited for the back to school blast on Wednesday, August 20th from 4 to 7 on the athletic facility of Ferndale High School. From 4 to 7. So please come out and support.
So I would like, my Eagle Excellence goes to all of the construction staff working on all of the bond projects that we had going on over the summer, from the FHS track, from the UHS vestibule and parking lot, the bathrooms at FHS, FECC bathroom. It was a lot happening over the summer. Everything is looking great, still in progress, but it's looking great. And I just want to say thank you for them, especially the superintendents and the leaders of the project. They have been very committed and very easy to work with. You can tell that they are very focused on ensuring that August 25th is beautiful. And I just feel very thankful that we have those people on our team that's working on those projects in our building. So I'm going to shout them out.
I think you all covered anything that I was going to pick. So, including the shout out for the back to school blast. I am too excited for this start of the school year, but also want to express extreme gratitude for the folks that work during the summer, like with no break, because that's the work that gets you ready for the gets the buildings, the school district ready for the next year, the incoming kids. And when kids walk out the door in June, they think the doors are closed and no one's home, and that's not what actually happens. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to next Monday. And with that, we are adjourned at 8:02 p.m.